Hi flower friend. Hi flower friends, I'm standing in front of my raspberry patch. So this patch was started by the people who owned the house previous to us. And it's kind of a little thick, it needs to be spaced out. So today I'm going to use my tiller and I'm going to make a new stretch for the raspberries. I'll be pruning these out and then spacing them out properly so that they have room to breathe, so that there's airflow, and so that we can actually reach the berries. A lot of times the best berries were in the middle of the patch and we couldn't get to them without getting all cut up. So I'm gonna try that today. Let's see what happens. Oh, I'm also gonna be taking down this temporary fence. We had just used some chicken wire and some tea stakes and created a fence last year. And we're doing something different this year because that just didn't work for us. My entire fall bumper crop was eaten by deer. They just walk right over the fence. So we just ordered a whole bunch of supplies and we'll be doing something on a much bigger scale to keep the deer out of our garden. So I'm going to be reusing some of this chicken wire because we're building a chicken run. Some of my neighbors are going to come help me build a chicken run as soon as the ground is warm. And if you notice, it's about 30 degrees out today. I'm sure I'll strip some layers off, but I like to start out with as many layers as possible. And then if I have to take something off, if I get a little warm, I do that. So I'm cold, it's cold, but the ground's not frozen anymore, so I don't know, I'm just doing it.
So I was just doing a little bit of research on how to best do this, and it said that to remove the old branches, which would be like this, the ones that are gray and coming apart, those are definitely old. Here's an example of an old one. And then also remove the ones that have already branched out. Like these were last year's blooms. And to leave the ones that looked like this, that had buds and look great for this year's fruit production. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get rid of a lot of these. My chickens are helping me. And we'll see if that works.
So I went in to have lunch, came back out, and my tiller won't start. My husband just fixed it, and it won't start again. So he just loaded it up on the tractor. I changed my pants. I was getting a little warm. The sun keeps peeking in and out. So he's going to see if he can figure out what's wrong with the tiller. In the meantime, I'm going through and I'm just taking out the dead woody ones. And they actually snap off pretty easily. I have my clippers out here and I found I didn't even need them. As I was reaching for some of these older things, they literally were just snapping right off at the bottom. I'm taking all of this dead stuff off and moving it around. I don't want to leave any of it on the ground because I don't want any opportunities for mold or disease to form at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and finish going through here and getting all the dead stuff out while he's working on the tiller. It's pretty easy to tell which one is alive and which one is dead. These have all of the bark is peeling away from the branches, and the new ones, the ones that are going to produce fruit this year, are very different. They have a different color and they have some fuzz around the bottom of them, and you can see the buds. This is a perfect example. The buds are forming already. They look beautiful. I would like to put another row here, and I want to put my asparagus in the ground. I've got about 100 asparagus started from seed inside. I have some ones already in this bed, so I'd like to make this a perennial area. I also have some blueberries that I would like to move from the back of the garden over here. So I hope my chickens are not eating them right now. I just spotted them.
This is the pile of dead stuff that I have so far, and I'll show you how the bottom, there's my clippers, but if you look at the bottom of these, they're much healthier. They've got fuzz going, they've got nice buds forming, much different. Look at how many I have here. This is insane. I could never get to the ones in the middle, and they were so beautiful and delicious, the birds would end up eating all of them. Oh well, not this year. Gonna get them. Well, maybe.
tilling also, it always kills my arms. It's snowing. It's snowing. There's snow falling in the air. Okay, so I'm gonna start by kind of taking a rake and making a little bit of a trench and then starting to transport these. All right. Dugout, and you want to just put them at the same level as they were before. Don't want that, that's a weed. So I transferred over some of their dirt, and eventually I'll get a string around here and kind of tie them all up so that they're supported with the string. And my new my hat's getting caught. Okay, so these two want to stay together. So I'm going to let them stay together. Change things up a bit. My chickens are going to come and play in this freshly dug up dirt. So what I ended up realizing is that I have so many raspberry canes that I was going to more than fill up this row and maybe actually have like 3 or 4 rows. And I don't want to do that. So what I'm doing is I'm putting them a little bit closer together. You can have like 3 or 4 within, you know, just like a 10 or 12 inch space. And then what I'm doing is I dug these ones up. And instead of having them in the middle, I'm now putting them closer to the edge of the till space the row that I tilled. So I'm going to have a set of raspberry canes on this side, and then I'm going to put a second string of canes on that side, so I can have essentially double the canes in one single row. And what I'll do is I'll end up putting probably a 2x4 into the ground on the end, maybe 2 of them, and then stringing them down with some nice twine just so they stay upright and that nothing knocks them over. We have really high winds here. In fact, a little while ago my camera fell down and my microphone broke again. But I mean, the microphone, it works, but the structure itself, a piece of plastic broke. So it's kind of dangling on the top of my camera now. But anyway, so the chickens are loving this dirt, so I'm going to get to planting the rest of the raspberry canes on this row. I don't think I'm going to finish this project today. There's still probably 200 raspberry canes in the ground behind me, so I'm going to get as many as I can today because it is Easter weekend and my kids and I have some sugar cookies inside that we're going to be decorating, so I want to get to that. I also found in my garden shed some raspberry and strawberry. It's a berry fertilizer, so it says to use about 2 pounds per 100 square feet. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking a handful and I'm sprinkling it in as I'm planting each raspberry cane, and that should do it. So this stuff has been in the garden shed for a few years. It was actually, we inherited it from the previous owner, but it's in really great condition. The outside of the bag was a little wet, but the fertilizer itself has never been wet, and it's really looks good. So I'm excited that we're going to have little fertilized raspberries this season. So I'm going to go ahead and get these in the ground. If a cane has a natural tendency to go a certain way, I'm trying to allow it to do that. I don't want it to be going the wrong way. I can get one in there much closer. So I wanted to show you this. This is a sucker. And this is how raspberry plants regenerate. So every year it'll send out a sucker, and a lot of times the sucker will be 5-6 feet away from the plant, maybe even further. This one's got a second sucker on it as well, and they'll grow up to be a raspberry cane. A first year raspberry cane, it will not produce fruit its first year. So when my camera fell, I started having some issues with my camera. The recording function wasn't working right. I got it fixed, obviously, but so it took me all of that day. I just worked about an hour longer, and then 5 hours the next day to go ahead and finish this. Now I have 2 rows going down this entire strip, and I still probably have 30 or 40 canes yet to pull out, but this I think is going to work really well. This is not the permanent string that I'm going to put up here. I'd like to get, I did see online some really nice, like a T-post with a V, with wire going, or not wire, but like a nice string going across. So I'm hoping to do that sometime soon. But I really like the way that it turned out. It's over 30 feet long. I don't know exactly, I didn't measure it. I just took 30 steps like this. And I have bogs on, and they're pretty big. So, I mean, I wear a size 8 and the shoes are a good inch on both sides. So my chickens have been getting in here and scratching up the wood chips, but I have more wood chips coming, and I'm going to fill in this entire area so that there's no weeding to do, well, very little weeding to do. So I also have some blueberry plants that I have over on the other side of the garden. I'm going to bring those over, and I'm going to line them up right here so they'll have their own space as well. I'm just trying to clear out the garden area so that I can put all of my beds in for vegetables and flowers in there and not have to work around my perennials. I want all of my perennials in the same exact area. Same thing with asparagus. That's going to be going where the canes were. So I'm really excited about that. Anyway, so I'm sorry I didn't have the whole entire process down for you, but you guys get the idea. I was just doing the same exact thing over and over and over again all the way through. I was sprinkling the fertilizer everywhere where I was planting the canes. So hopefully they'll take well and we're not going to have any issues. If I lose a couple, that's okay. But for the most part, I think they're going to be just fine. So thank you so much for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one.